Welcome or welcome back. So, in this video, I want to talk about the things that I've either done and tried that I really loved or made me feel that like alive, um, joyful feeling. Um, so, either stuff that I've either tried or stuff that I'm currently doing. Some of them are bigger things, some of them are small, everyday things. Um, but after I had my first son in 2017, there was all of this like just like appreciation. I mean, kids teach you what's important, right? Like what's important in life. And so I had this whole sort of like renewed outlook on life and just like I wanted to be a good example. Again, I wanted to be like a joyful parent for him. So I went through a small window of time there where I did actually end up trying some things that I wanted to from my bucket list. One of those things was stand up paddling, which by now everybody probably knows what that is. If you don't, you basically stand on top of a surfboard and paddle with an oar and hope that you don't fall off, right? Um, I tried it. It was a family vacation. I went with my two sisters-in-law and it was really fun. I'm really glad I tried it. I would do it again for sure. It's not something that I would want to do like regularly necessarily. Like it's not something that I would want to be like a hobby of mine. But I definitely enjoyed it and I'm glad that I did it. Another thing that I tried, I think it was with like maybe 2018, maybe 2019. I don't know. It was after my first son, but I finally tried archery. And that was like a huge one that I had wanted to try since I was like 15, because I've always wanted to be like female Robin Hood or like Legolas. I mean, who doesn't want to be a cool shooting bows and arrows from a horse? We all have probably been there at some point, but archery was like a huge one that I wanted to try. And I thought I was going to get to try it in college, and I never did. Um, so I didn't get to try it until like 2018, 2019. Love it. Loved it. Like when I was doing it, it literally just felt like I felt so alive and like lit up inside. Like my 15-year-old self literally was like, oh my God, this dream's coming true. Like it was so fun. I went with my husband. He had done archery before. We'd never gone to that place that we did it, but um, he had shot a bow and arrow and stuff before, and I never have. And so, like, I think I've gone maybe twice. I think we've gone only twice since then. But archery is something for sure that I would like. I would love to own my own bow and arrows and like have a target in the backyard. Like, it's something I would love to do as like an actual hobby on a regular basis and like try to get good at. Um, so that's still on my gradual become a more common thing, because it's been a while since it's probably been a couple years, if not longer, since I've even gone to do it. So it'll take a while, but hopefully that will become like a more regular hobby for me down the line. Um, Another thing I've done that has brought me joy is like I talked in my last video about how I used to daydream about going to farmers markets, and I definitely have done that fairly often for sure. Not as often as I wish I had. It's like the summer just flies by. Like farmers market season just goes by so fast, and I'm like, I've only gone once. But for sure, like I remember the first time that I went to a farmers market here in our area, and I bought a bouquet of flowers, and I was just like, I remember when I would like daydream about that. Like I loved that bouquet of flowers so much; it brought me so much joy. So that's something I would like to do more often, even still. But that is something I do. I mean, at least once or twice a year, depending on um, what we're doing and how busy we all are. But um, those are probably the more major, like larger event type things that I've done in the past or do on occasion. Um, Another thing that I did actually last year, um, because I was creeping towards 40, it was my 39th birthday. I decided I was going to have this like inner child birthday month. So for the whole month of February, I was like, I'm just going to focus on doing things that like I haven't done since I was a kid, or like things that were important to me. I'm going to try to like revisit that inner child and do those things. And so last February, actually before the month started, I deleted social media, like fully logged off of Facebook and Instagram. I have not logged back into Instagram either. It's been over a year and I have not been on Instagram. Um, Facebook occasionally I pop on for like Facebook Marketplace, but I really haven't even posted on Facebook in over a year either. And that could be another video for another day. But I gave up social media in an attempt to have more time and focus to like do these things that I was wanting to do for like my inner child month for my birthday celebration. So the things that I actually ended up doing last February, um, I started sponsoring a child. That was something I did. Gosh, my mom actually paid for it when I was like middle school. I mean, I wasn't old enough to technically sponsor a child. It was in my name. My mom paid for it, but I sponsored a child, gosh, for like over 10 years. I mean, it was like from the age of 5, and then he graduated out of the system at like 16 or 17. So for a long time. And once I was an adult, I took over those payments, but um, it was something I haven't done since I've been like a adult living on my own. And so I was reminded of that, like when I was doing all of this, like revisiting the stuff that was important to me as a kid. It was like, I really like sponsoring a child. That was so important to me at that time. And I'm like, why did I stop? Like, what was I doing? I was having my own children, but so I actually started sponsoring a little girl in Africa, in Ghana, last February. And I'm still sponsoring her through Compassion International. Another thing was, on that same note, I was like, in the last video, I talked about wanting to like adopt or sponsor like a manatee, because I remember that as a kid, in my mom's magazines, those like, you know, conservation advertisements. And so I Googled it and found the Save the Manatee Club and adopted um, a manatee for last year. And I actually, this year, I have renewed that same adoption and adopted another one in addition to that, which that's just a one time. Sponsoring a child, you pay every month. Adopting a manatee is like a one time payment. I mean, you can donate more than that, but it's a one time payment and you get to like be part of their adoption for like the whole year. And so that's been really fun. I have their little adoption certificates on my bulletin board back here. Um, Another thing I did for my inner child um, month last year, I went for my birthday, like actual birthday sort of celebration. I went with a friend and we painted pottery. And my goal for going to paint pottery was to, I had seen on Pinterest like a little divided tray plate, like a snack plate, and I really wanted to like paint one of those and they didn't have it. What I ended up painting was this little, it's like I just made it like a paint cup for water. Like when I'm painting, I can wash my brushes off in this little paint cup. And so that was really fun. And this is like super special to me now because I hadn't painted pottery or done anything like that in a really long time. Um, and then another thing that I did to sort of like honor my inner child last year was I talked in my last video again about how I was like obsessed with Egypt as a teen, middle school teen. And so I ended up buying my name in hieroglyphics on a necklace last year. And I don't have it on right now, but I got it off Etsy. And that was something that I wore almost daily for a long time. And it was just a good reminder of like, I'm prioritizing myself. Because I have like 12 necklaces of my children's names or my children's birthstones and that kind of thing. But it's like, I don't really have anything with like my initial or my own name. And so it was like sort of that, like I'm refocusing, like I'm going to start thinking about me also now. So that was a fun one. Um, so then some small things that I've sort of done over time that have brought me so much joy. First of all is I've started wearing perfume again, which seems silly, and I don't wear it every day, but I used to wear perfume all the time, like Love Spell body spray. I mean, we all wore that, right? I used to wear that all through college. I also really loved, gosh, what did I wear? I think it was, is it Marc Jacobs Daisy and Coach Poppy, I think. I think. Those were the perfumes that I used to wear like early adulthood. And then once I realized like how bad perfumes actually are for your hormones and all of that stuff, like I quit after I had my son because I didn't want him smelling it on me. And so I just threw out my old perfumes and stopped wearing it. Um, so then a few years ago, I started just like researching like clean perfumes, non toxic perfumes. And I found, I have two actually. So I found Henry Rose. That's it. Henry Rose. And I love the windows down scent. And this actually makes me think of more like spring and summer. You can wear it all year, whatever. But this is very much like a sort of spring and summer, like clean, just like it just matched the vibes of like how I wanted my. I think at the time I bought it in the summertime. So it's like it just matched the vibe of like what summer felt like to me. And then the other one is actually when I found this last, I think in December, I went to like a not a craft show, but you know what I mean, like a booth market, whatever. And there's this lady locally that makes her own clean rollerball perfumes. And I smelled a whole bunch of them, but she has this one. It's called Kindred. It's like cozy and just like it reminds me a lot of like somewhere between like the daisy and the poppy perfume I used to wear. But it's just a rollerball. It's oil. It's clean. It's non-toxic, made by someone who is a breast cancer survivor, I believe. Um, it comes in like the rollerball. I think there's a spray. There's body oil. There's a car diffuser, home fragrance oil. I mean, all of it. But like, it smells so good. And this is definitely like more of a like fall wintry. It's a little bit cozier and like warmer. It's got more of like that vanilla kind of scent. And so those are my two, and like I wear them all the time now. Like I have it on right now. I have this one on right now, and that's just something that's helped me feel not pretty, more confident, or just like more of like I don't know. It's just brought me joy, and so I'll try to link these things in the description if anybody's interested. I don't make any money off of any of this stuff. It's like it's just I love it. Um, so perfume, and then another thing that I have started actually using. I've talked about how like we're getting out our nice stuff this year, right? We're getting out our special things, the things that we don't usually use or we're saving, right? We're not doing that. We're not doing that. And so this was also last year, I think around my birthday, I was like, I'm going to get out my Lord of the Rings goblet. Okay. And first of all, if you remember when Lord of the Rings came out back in like 2001, Burger King had those glass collectible goblets that lit up. They had this little light up thing on the bottom that you could light up the goblet. And I have three of them. I have two of Frodo and one of Aragorn, I believe. And they have been boxed up literally since 2001. I don't think I've ever really drank out of them ever. And I've moved them from place to place to place to place to place for the last 25 years. I have moved these things around and never used them. And last year I was like, you know what? I'm getting the sucker out. I'm going to drink out of it. Why is it just sitting in there? So here we go. This stays in my office. I drink my little caffeine energy drink out of it every day. It makes me so freaking happy. I get to stare at little glass Frodo's face, and it brings me so much joy that it's like out of the cabinet and I'm using it. And I don't understand why I've been saving it for 25 years, literally not even enjoying it. So that's your reminder to get out the weird thing that you think that you shouldn't be using. Get it out, freaking use it, and enjoy it, and just see how much happiness it brings you. Because literally, I look forward to it like every day. It's like I want to use my ridiculous Lord of the Rings Burger King goblet. It's vintage now, right? It's vintage. We're cool. So get out the thing and use it because it's so much fun. I've loved it. And then two other not small but kind of small things, I guess, or daily things that I've been working on to bring me more joy is working on my personal style. I am a graphic tee lover. They're like a love language for me. I love graphic tees. For a long time I felt like I couldn't wear them. And for a while I couldn't because I worked in an office setting and that wasn't appropriate. But like for a long time I felt like I couldn't wear them because they're like too casual, or I just like I just felt like it wasn't stylish enough or whatever. And now I feel like I should just embrace it. Like they make me happy, they bring me joy, they're fun. I don't have to wear them every day. I wear them most days with leggings. Like that's, but we're trying to break out of that leggings rut, sweatpants rut. Um, and so like finding new ways to mix and match my graphic tees with like skirts and different types of pants or shoes or whatever. Um, but I'm just working on like personal style as far as like I purged a ton of stuff that I just never wear out of my closet. And even when I like thought I had purged enough, I still purged a whole garbage bag full and gave it to Goodwill right before the start of, like around in January. I think I just did it like last month in January. I got rid of it because I was like, if it's not in here, I can't wear, like I'm not wearing it anyway. I need to hide my leggings from myself because one of my goals is to like, I am going to start a challenge or like an experiment of like wearing nice or dressing nicer. I work from home and then I'm always like around small kids, and it's like I don't really leave the house that often except for school pickups or errands or that kind of stuff. So I always feel like it's hard to justify putting on jeans or wearing my nice things, but we're going to get past that. But style is one of the things that I've been working on, like sort of collecting. I'm trying not to buy that much. I'm trying to do a low buy and like wear what I have so that I know how I feel in it and what feels good to me. But I have bought several things. Um, but working on my style so that I have more elevated options that feel like me, so that I stop constantly always just grabbing my leggings and my sweatpants and like defaulting to the easy stuff every day. Like we're still working on that, but that is something that I've been working on that's brought me more joy, like to wear the stuff maybe I don't usually get out, or planning the stuff. It's hard to dress nice in the winter too. Let me tell you, like that, it feels totally like why bother when you have to wear like 85 layers and it's a tundra outside. But that's another thing. We're working on style. That's bringing me joy. We're working on like figuring out personal style and what feels good to wear and what makes us feel good to wear every day. And then the last thing where I've made sort of baby steps in is health. My pelvic floor is a hot mess after 3 babies. Hormones, hot mess. I do have Hashimoto's. So my thyroid, that's like a newer thing since after my second son. I've only been on medication for it since I got pregnant with my daughter. So since 20, what year is that? 2024. I've been on it. Maybe 2023. Oh God, I don't even know. I think 2024. I've been on it since 2024. Um, and so I've been on thyroid medicine. And so just trying to like figure out ways to not have to go up in medication. I'm trying to like not make my blood pressure was also a hot mess and continues to be sometimes an issue on occasion since having my daughter. And so like I've started seeing a functional, I don't even know if that's what his technical term is, but as functional medicine doctor for all intents and purposes, who's prescribed like, or not prescribed, but he's given me some supplements. We're working on just like getting my adrenals and all that stuff kind of sorted out. And I've been a terrible patient and I haven't been back on a regular basis enough to like, but that's something that this year I'm also taking more steps in, continuing supplements, finding what works for my body, finding a way to eat and workouts and all of that that will support health, because it's time to get back to it and take care of myself in that regard as well. So those are like the things that I've done over the past several years or year plus. And then the last thing I want to talk about that I did that has literally brought me so much joy, and it's more of a this year thing, but since it's already done, we'll talk about it, was my 40th birthday party. So this year I was like, I was starting to think about this even the year before, like before I was turning 40. I was like, what would I want to do that like really makes me feel like I'm celebrating my 40th birthday and that it's like true to me? And I came up with this. It's a whole long story, but I came up with this. I met a lady over the summer, last summer, who does dress parties. She sells like fantasy crowns and fantasy bookish merch and that kind of thing. And she had all these gorgeous, like, formal dresses in her booth. And we were talking, and I was like, oh my gosh, your dresses are gorgeous, but like, where would I ever wear them? Right. And she was like, well, now they do fantasy balls like all over the world, really, where, grown-ups can go like dress up in like these formal gowns, cosplay type situations, and go to a ball and wear the dress. And I was like, you're right, that's so much fun. Like, I should look into that. So it was months later, but I was like, I should have that lady. Like, she said she did dress parties. I'm like, she needs to come and do a dress party for me and my friends for my 40th birthday. And we can try on all these fancy dresses, and we can try, like, wear the crown, like all these crowns, and like just have a good, basically a princess party for adults. Right. I'm like, that's what we're doing. And so we did it. I full on decorated more than I don't usually decorate that much for my own birthday party, but this year I did, like, I made paper chains. We had color, like, iridescent sparkly fringy stuff up. I'll try to insert pictures in this video. I don't know if I'm so technically inclined yet, but we'll try. um Tried on tons of dresses. I had candy necklaces, because those are like one of my favorite things from like college. My friends and I used to do candy necklaces. um let's see, we did cinnamon rolls instead of cake, because I've cinnamon rolls are like of my last meal. If I was like, that would be part of my last meal, is like cinnamon rolls. And so I did cinnamon rolls in the shape of like the number 40 and put sprinkles all over them, and that was our cake. We just had some like snacky things. I bought all these really pretty plastic, colorful like goblets off of Amazon that we drank out of. And basically we all just hung out and tried on all these fancy dresses and crowns and chatted and whatever, and hung out. And my sister and I did actually end up buying, well, my mom bought it because it was my 40th birthday present, but we ended up getting dresses, because our hope is that this year there is actually a fantasy ball near me this summer. And so that's on the list of things to do this year, which that'll come in the next video. But having a big old 40th birthday princess party was just like the best time. I kicked my husband and my sons out. They went and did a trampoline park or something for a few hours, and it was just all us girls and my toddler daughter hanging out, doing dresses. And so I highly recommend, if you feel like you shouldn't go above and beyond, at least for, especially for like a milestone birthday, you should totally do it. It feels like it's a lot of work for you to like have to deal with it yourself. Like, I get it, but do it, because we're worth it. And it was so much fun. And everybody who was there is funny, because I invited like some of my friends for sure. I mean, everybody was super into trying on the dresses. Everybody had a good time. I wasn't sure how many of my friends would actually even be interested in like want to do a fantasy ball, or like want to go home. Almost every person left with a crown. Okay. Which actually, here's my crown that I got at the party. Iridescent is like it's so sparkly. Um and I actually have another crown or two already from her that I bought last summer, but um and I bought my baby girl, she has a little tiara also. So it was just so much fun. I highly recommend, if you know somebody, or you find somebody that does dress parties, or you have fantasy balls in your area, do it. Do it. It's the year, okay? We're doing it. Our little inner nerd, our inner princesses are coming out this year, guys. So that's sort of the sum up of like things that I've started doing that have brought me so much joy, things that I want to revisit, like archery, things that I need to continue working on, like my style and definitely my health for sure. Um, but yeah, and then in the next video, we'll cover my plans for this year, because I got some plans. So, hope you're ready for that. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.